And I'm always
Recording in
like, "Hello,
progress.
everyone," and I say it like the same way every time. I'm gonna come up with something different.
Hello and welcome to Oliabo, brought to you by the Morton brothers, Curtis, Ashley, and Kent.
That's what it's gonna be. Oh, welcome everyone. We'll give everyone a minute or two to kind of get on and get settled. Same reminder as always. Happy for you to participate in the chat, but just realize that if you do participate in the chat, your anonymity kind of goes away if you send a message to everyone because it shows that you sent the message, which is perfectly fine so long as you're aware of that. The chat is open. And then also just a reminder to everyone here that there's chats that come through that say everyone, there's chats that come through that say host and panelists, so be careful which ones you're calling out. The Q&A section is a great place for questions. We'll spend some time answering questions towards the end of the call. So please, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A widget that is there. There's a Q&A specific area within Zoom. So please put them there. It's easier for us to keep track of those because in the chat, questions and comments just kind of flow through and it's hard to keep track of those in the chat. I think that is it initially. So we've got people from all over the place. Today we're going to be talking about updates on our impending international launch. So we'll be talking about those specific places that we'll be launching internationally and specifically when. We're also going to be very specific and trying to help expectations. Some of those will have much more specific shipping timelines that are clear. Others might take a little bit longer and know that we'll be refining those. So we'll be talking about each of those markets so that we can make sure that you understand what to expect, at least what our expectations are based upon our fulfillment partner. We'll also be going over some of the back office again today with some of the different things that have updated. So we're very excited to go through that process and to talk through those things.
And maybe we can explain also, take a moment, when we talk international, we're talking something called not for resale. That's what it's referred to as, not for resale, because it's something for personal use. Maybe you've heard that term before, personal use. So it's a fairly common for countries like Canada, for example, and Australia and a few other countries where traditionally you can ship into that country. And that's part of that managing expectations, I think, that Curtis, what you're referring to, is it'll ship from the United States, it'll have a US label on it, it'll have US, it'll be in US dollars. We would pay commissions in US dollars. And we're using a shipping company that happens to be here in Utah. Well, they're global, actually, quite global, but they have a facility really close to us. They have multiple facilities throughout the United States. We're going to start with that facility here, and this is going to be for the United States and let's use Canada, for example, or Australia. It's going to be the same location. Now, as time goes on and we start to know where our pockets are throughout the United States and of course Canada, you're going to start to see the shipping times actually will improve, I would say. Would that be a correct assumption? Over time, because we'll be able to refine our costs. Absolutely. We'll be able to move some of the inventory to a different locations within their space. And then that'll improve some shipping times. It might not be large, but it'll definitely improve things. And so for right now, it's going to be coming from Utah, and that's where we'll start with. And so when you sign up, and many of you have signed up, and let's use Canada as the example. Again, your distributorship is in Canada. You're using that address, but it's going to ship from here. And so just in case there's anyone who's wondering, I know the Donnas of the world, you know that very well, and those in Australia that we've been talking to, these are leaders that have understood this system. But I just want to make sure that's understood. And I think that would be good that maybe we go through the different countries that we're talking about too.
Absolutely.
Because Curtis makes a really good point. There are certain countries that we were hopeful that we would have a solution. The challenge, there's just a couple in that list that there's a difference between duties and customs paid ahead of time and then duties and customs that's required at the time of arriving to your country. And so those ones we're going to avoid at this point in time. And I will be just open with you. We've talked to several people, several of the leaders in South Africa. That is one of those countries. It's called DDU, which is meaning unpaid customs and duties. That means the responsibility is on the end user. And whereas Canada used that as an example, the customs and duties are paid ahead of time. So you'll be, show as a line item on your order, but it'll be paid ahead of time. So you don't have to worry. It's all cleared ahead of time. The group that we're using is a company called Landmark, and they're the ones that will clear that ahead of time. And so you don't, and maybe we go over the list of the countries, because some of them, we were talking to someone in the Philippines the other day, and it used to be that it was a DDU, unpaid, but now it is paid ahead of time. It's still gonna take about 10 to 12, 14 days to get there, but it used to be more like 30 or 35, 40 days. And so quite substantially less, because now it's a DDP.
Yeah, I think it's also would be good. I mean, you called out South Africa. I think another country, and that doesn't mean that we're not finding other solutions to make South Africa work.
We're working on that, but it
We're
might
working
be a
on
little bit more
those,
time.
but it's gonna take a little bit more time. And
Yes.
so that's not gonna be one of the initials.
And it's the same thing with, like, I've had the question, well, there's all these countries that are on the registration form. When are we opening up all of these? While we might not announce all of those today, those are the ones that we are working on doing our due diligence on. So if we don't announce your country today, just know we are heavily working on getting it open as fast as possible for you to be able to order. We just want to make sure that we're giving everyone a great experience from the start. And that's what we want to make sure that we have set up from the get-go before we turn those on.
And making sure that we're following the regulatory compliance guidelines and needs for each region and country, so that we don't get off on the wrong foot with the actual countries and the regulatory bodies there that could then stifle our ability to really grow and expand into those regions.
Yeah.
Is Norway another one of those?
Norway's
we're
one of
working
the
on,
unpaid, so we're not gonna do that at the moment. And I'll just be blunt and open. Norway's gonna be one, because it's the unpaid one, like I described with the South Africa. It's just unpaid, and so it would make the user experience more challenging. We thought it was different at first, and so I'll just
Yep, so
trying to speak openly here.
Are they
That's
using
my
the krona? Those are not using the euro though, I think in Norway.
so we're working on some other solutions for Norway. It's still
It's
top of mind. We're working on it, but it's not gonna be one of those ones that we can initially launch with.
Yeah, so let's go through those lists.
I think that would be valuable. And while we're going through the list, just keep in mind, we try to set reasonable expectations. I think we move pretty fast, but when you look at your keyboard, if it's got English characters, that's not the way it is in all parts of the world. There's various alphabets, the Sanskrit or katakani, kanji characters, and we want to make sure that we have everything as dialed in as we can. So we try to under promise and over deliver. So that's the whole point of today's discussion.
Yes, so I am gonna post into the chat and we will start talking about it. And Adam, do you have the timelines, the potential expected timelines for each of the regions? So we can talk through that, set expectations on what we're looking at as far as shipping timelines we can review.
Yeah, so
So you don't have
as
to, but I just
he
wanna make sure.
talks about them though, I can bring it up on kind of what you guys, so what Curtis, just to reiterate what he was asking, is if we can go through the expected shipping timelines for each of the markets. And so as we start,
It's an average.
yeah, as we start talking about these, just know that I'm gonna give an average of a certain amount of business days to a certain amount of business days. Now, those are completely averages. Some markets like Australia, you have a wide range. Some products get there really fast. Some of the really rural areas, it takes a little bit longer to get to, but just know that what we're giving you is average on the shipping times.
Okay, so here are the countries that we will be opening initially. And I'm gonna paste it here in the chat, but I'm also gonna then.
And again, when we say open, we're talking NFR shipping from here. I want to always kind of reiterate that, so we've managed that expectation, okay?
Okay, so Canada, UK, Ireland, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines. For some reason, it formatted odd when I put it in the chat, so I'm gonna try it again. Hold on a second. Let me fix the
Yeah.
chat here. Nope, it is not working in the chat for me. So you can see it, it's all kind of bunched up there, so,
Also Mexico.
man. Blew it. Mexico as well, yes, apologies. Okay, so some things that we will review now is kind of our generally expected shipping times, and know that we will continue to work on improving these. Some are great, some like Mexico is definitely not ideal, and so we'll be working on improving that. We've got various ideas. The other thing to note that we want to emphasize over and over and over again, this we ran into a little bit last week, and several of you ran into this. Oliabo is a new company. So your payment methods, your banks and credit card companies that you work with, they've never seen charges from Oliabo. So all of a sudden they're seeing a bunch of charges from Oliabo and they're like, whoa, what is this? Is this real? What is it? Right? So before you make a purchase from Oliabo, contact your bank, contact your credit card. Say, hey, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to be ordering some products from a new company called Oliabo out of Utah, USA. They're legitimate purchases. That will then go a long way to them not flagging it as like, what is this? Especially for these international markets. Because even more so now you're making a purchase from a new company that is not even in your country. There's a good chance it will get flagged and declined. So please contact your payment providers first. And then also note when you're going through the checkout process, if you do see something that says, hey, payment declined, payment rejected, 95% of those are because you need to contact your bank. Or maybe they send you a text, or you need to log into your bank account and say, yep, this is okay. So please, we're gonna just keep reiterating that because that will solve 95% of the problems, okay? So please, 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 remember that.
And this is an interesting, I just got, while you're setting up your next comment, I was talking to the person that owns the claim to fame of being the first order placed the second we went live, like in the nanosecond that we went live last Thursday. And I was like, wow, how'd you beat the rest of it? And she was saying, I put it in my cart, and I just like refresh. She's like, I was just hitting refresh, knowing that the sentence was about to come out of the mouth. And I was like, oh, and our merchant account services, that was not the only person doing that. So our merchant account services, they knew, we warned them, right? But it's like, imagine like in your brain when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, and like suddenly everything happens at once. The little dude's pushing buttons. That happened in the moment, live on a call last week. So we're schooling all the wonderful people, merchant accounts and the banks and what's the entity called, Kronos or something? And oh my gosh, there's so many entities, I don't even know what they're called. They're the parties that service our stuff, so.
Okay, Adam, do you want to talk through some potentially expected shipping times? Now, this is what we've received from our logistics provider. They ship internationally all the time, so they've got a pretty good handle on this. But this is average expected times, right? If you live somewhere kind of a little bit further out of the normal mainstream of your country and not in one of the major cities, it's going to be a little different. And there's going to be some fluctuating timelines, but know that we'll continually refine this. But we want you to have clear expectations in your region.
Yeah, so if we're just gonna go through like North America first. So Canada, you're looking at about 5 to 7 business days. However, like Joe said, some orders are gonna get there faster than that. So their fastest shipping times that they're currently seeing in Canada are about 3 days that they're getting packages from the US. So again, 5 to 7 business days in Canada. If you're in a rural area, that's where you're gonna see some of the longer shipping times, just because they have to hand it off from their courier to whoever a local courier provider or service is. Sometimes you're gonna see that it's gonna go Canada Post. Sometimes
Actually,
it might go.
let me make comments. Right now, there's been questions. Canada Post's on strike.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Surprise.
Yep. So one thing that's really
They're
awesome.
not using Canada Post right now.
Yeah, one thing that's awesome about Landmark Global
It's
though.
every year. It's just the season.
Yeah.
Christmas.
I've used Landmark Global a lot over the past 6 years. And what is amazing about them is anytime that something like the Canada Post strike comes up, they let us know ahead of time and they already have a solution for it. And so they'll send us a message saying, hey, just a heads up, Canada Post is potentially gonna go on strike. We're watching it closely, and then if it does happen, they'll send us another message saying, hey, they did go on strike. This is the alternative that we've moved to now. Note there will be no delays in deliveries. So Landmark is a really good partner to have for those types of things.
Yep.
Okay, Australia, New Zealand. For Australia, New Zealand, you're gonna be looking at about 8 to 12 business days. 12 is gonna be more on the side of like Darwin or on the western side of Australia. The import, the inception points into Australia, there's 4. There's Perth, there's Melbourne, there's Brisbane, and Sydney. It's those 4. And so those are on, if you took Australia, those are all on the eastern side of Australia. So anything that's on the western side, excuse me, is gonna take a little bit longer in Australia.
Adam, are you doing this without power? You're riffing, bro. You know geography. This is how much Adam has been in tune with what he's doing. Since he was 18 years of age. That guy knows geography of areas of the world that you would probably find 98% of Americans don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't
I mean,
know
I've
that
worked-
geography about Australia the first time I went.
I've worked a lot in international over the last years, and it's really helped me with a lot of this logistics and operations and setting up different markets throughout the world. So it's been great. New Zealand for a whole, you're gonna see shipping times that are gonna be about 7 to 9 business days. It's usually a little bit quicker to New Zealand. Now, if we move over to Europe, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 8 business days in Europe, depending on where it's going. Again, the markets we're opening up first are gonna be Ireland, Germany, and the UK. UK is the inception point for Landmark. So any orders going to the UK are gonna arrive faster than orders going to Ireland or Germany. Because what happens is it's gonna arrive in the UK, it gets sorted, it gets scanned and everything in the UK, but then it gets put onto either a truck or it gets on a flight, depending on what's going on at that time. But then it's gonna go to those markets, and that can take another day or 2 in that process. So that's kind of why you're seeing that time frame. Mexico is, I think, the last one, right? Mexico is gonna be a little bit longer shipping times. Mexico you're looking at probably about 10 to 12 business days on Mexico shipments. And a lot of that reasoning is that a lot of times it's a little bit slower to get across the border. So even though Mexico is a neighboring country for us, it just takes longer in the process. Every market is different from the next when it looks at customs and how they actually operate. So for example, if you go to South Africa, their customs is very slow. Mexico is also very slow. So while we're trucking everything down there in a day or 2 to hit the border, it still takes some time to then get through customs and then passed off to a local courier who then takes it and delivers it somewhere into Mexico.
But we are looking at different alternatives for there.
Yep.
Nothing to announce right now. We'll stay close. Adam and I have been pretty close with our leadership that are starting to develop in Mexico. And I want you to know we'll stay very close to you. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We will talk to you about that. Okay.
And we
As
should probably say too, that
and including South Africa too for
the
that.
part of the country too is also dependent. Like I know right now, if Mimo is on the line, she's like, I live on the North Shore of Oahu, which is part of the United States, but it's faster to get to, faster to get to probably to Ontario, an Ontario address than it is to get to North Shore of Oahu.
Why don't you bring up?
A couple hearts from the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
Okay, I lived in Hawaii. It's the pain of living in a state that's a little, it's the same with Mexico too, right? There's if you're living in like obscure part of Sinaloa, you might not get the product as fast as you would in Mexico City, so.
Yeah, that's a sure response face.
Yeah, so we're giving you generalities.
So we'll stay close again. I want you to know we're looking at different solutions for Mexico to help speed that up. Don't have anything at this point in time, but Adam and I are working on that.
Well,
And
Mexico is also a good example of a market that we're able to move into. While the service isn't as high of a level of service as we would like, we're still looking into options. But a lot of these other countries that we mentioned, we're still looking into. We don't have as good of a service as Mexico, so we're looking into those options ahead of time to make sure to give you that good service once we turn that.
and the Philippines, we were just talking about the Philippines. We were just chatting back and forth here. That was the one that I was telling you that it used to be DDU and now it's DDP, so that's gonna speed things up. We're looking at somewhere between 10 to 14 days, somewhere in that range. You have to remember, there's like, I don't know, 4 million islands or something in the Philippines. So I'm being a little tongue in cheek, but it's a beautiful country, absolutely gorgeous, but it is very There's a lot of islands, and so we have to.
Malcolm lives on one. Malcolm probably.
Malcolm lives on one of those islands,
Yeah.
and he's got it dialed in pretty well on how long it takes. But just help us as leaders to manage that expectation as you're talking to people. And again, we've talked openly, and please, we're an open book here. We'll talk to you as many times as we need to talk to you as we work towards better solutions. But we want to have good solutions for you, and that's why originally we thought, for example, and I know there's some people, maybe Norway were a little concerned, or we were hoping that, but it's not technically part of the EU, and it was not able to fall within that at the moment. But we'll look for other solutions as time goes on. And I just want you to know we're gonna watch that very closely, and okay.
We're gonna get it all refined more and more.
And I will add to this, we are doing some test shipments to some of these countries. But please understand that there still may be a little bit of hiccups in these first ones, kind of to the point of what Curtis was talking about with the banks. You're gonna deal with that with countries as well. However, Landmark has assured us, they've sent the list of ingredients, the labels and everything. There shouldn't be, but you know, it happens when you're the first time going across a border. So we'll be patient with us. Thank you. And we'll be here for you to answer any questions on that. Okay?
Yeah, and of course, support@oliabo.com, or here in your back office, you can come down and give us a call. A reminder, we're working on deciding how much staff we need and when we need them to ramp up. So if you send a message, we'll get back to you, or if you call us, leave a message if we don't have a chance to answer it, and we will get back to you. So for any of these questions that we're not getting to, or if you need something reiterated that we don't see and get back to you on in the call today, please reach out. We're here to support you. This is a partnership, right? Both for those who are building businesses and those who are just here to be a customer and support us as a customer. We're here to take care of you, and we're going to take care of you. And we really mean that. So please reach out. So I want to walk through the back office again, just to kind of remind everybody of some of the steps here. And some of the different things here as far as how this works. So the shop, reminder, we're working on the replicated websites. There's no cost for the replicated websites to business builders. That will show up right here. It'll be a link. It'll be essentially oliabo.com/your name or some other wording or that you would choose that hasn't already been chosen. That'll show up here just the same as these are here. There'll be another section here. That's something that we think we'll be able to get up and running in the next 1 to 2 weeks. We're refining the design of that, how that's going to work, where some of the information is going to live. So that will show up here. So for now, the way to shop is right here, right? So you click shop. And here in the shop, you can see the different products that we have. Reminder that the VIP is how you get an enhanced elevated Oliabo experience. So you get unlimited shipping on your orders. You get exclusive access to unique product promotions and launches, early info on products that are coming up, surprise swag. This is how you get that elevated experience. So right now, the way that the checkout process works.
Before we go on, can you maybe address the pricing on that one for?
Yes,
I know you touched on that last week.
I'm showing you.
I think it's good that we go through that, and also that won't include customs and duties.
Yes, this is good, Joe.
That's very, very
it's important to understand
so
that the shipping that this includes for international does not include taxes and duties or any kind of customs fees, anything like that. This includes the actual shipping costs from us to you. So there'll still be duties and taxes that need to be calculated on that. The reason this is a different price here than it is in the US is just simply because it's more expensive to transport and get products around the world than it is in the US and local to Canada here. So that's why there's that price differentiation.
We'll be good to that, and there will be countries that will definitely it won't work out in our favor, but that's okay. We're okay with that.
Yep. But a reminder, it's not just the shipping, right? It's the access to there'll be certain products that we launch as promotional products that will only be to those who have a VIP 365 membership. And then we'll also provide the other benefits there as well. So if you are interested in the VIP membership, buy that first. Because right now, the way that the shopping cart works is that if you have a VIP membership in there, right now, you can't add other products. You can't mix and match other products right now. That will be made, improved in the future, in the next week or two. We'll be improving that so that you can put all your products in one shopping cart and check out at one
So they have to
time.
do it separate.
But right now, you need to check out with the VIP membership separate from the others. Because if you have something else in there, like a Prima, for example, and then you try to add the VIP, it won't let you. It'll say, hey, it needs to be done through a separate checkout. So we'll improve that in the future, but right now that's how that works. So if you're interested in the VIP, buy that first. And then after that checkout is completed, you're gonna then come back and you're gonna wanna then add these items. Here, and any of the other items that you wanna add, in order to decide whether a one-time or a subscription, you do that in the cart. So this is again, something that you'll have to do in different orders. If you want something as a subscription and something else as a one-time purchase, you'll need to order those in separate checkouts. Again, that'll be something that will get into a better state in the future where you can put everything into the cart and it'll be either a subscription for one and one time for another, the VIP. In the future, you'll be able to add all that to one cart and check out at one time. But right now, VIP on its own, any products that you want as a subscription, you want to put in one cart on their own. And then any products that you want just to do a one-time purchase on in a separate one. And then when you're going through the process, also the way that it's applying the subscription discount, it's applying it through a discount. So just be aware that's how that works. The other thing to be aware of is that subscription orders get a bump in QV. So one-time purchase has a 100 QV on Prima, for example, but the subscription has a bump on that QV of 110. The reason for that is that subscription orders, one, it gives you a discounted price. Two, it's an easy way to keep the health benefits in your life ongoing without having to think about it. Three, it qualifies you for different rank qualifications kind of automatically by having that subscription in place. And on the corporate side, subscription orders make it much easier for us to predict out and extrapolate out our potential future costs, our order needs, the manufacturing, the shipping, all that stuff. And so we want to reward that by giving an increased bump in the QV as well as a decrease in the cost and price that we give to you and to the customers. Adam, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think are
we ready for the big reveal?
I think so. I think I'm ready.
You're ready?
I need to go ahead for.
Well, surprise, everyone. I am gonna give Adam the go ahead to turn on ordering for all of those countries that we just announced. So Adam, flip the switch. So
Give me just a few minutes.
give it a couple minutes here, and when you refresh your page in any of those initial countries, you will be able to start shopping.
Which is quite fun. And
We're excited to
So
announce that.
Curtis, just for fun, if you want, I just chatted you an account, pull up that account and you'll notice the shopping cart's not gonna show anything, but we can watch it build here in just a second.
Do you want to share your screen? Because I actually,
Well, I can't because I'm working on turning these on.
oh yeah. Well, let me stop sharing and then I will get that set up.
So still not quite yet, but getting close. I do want to point out,
Yeah.
everyone, this is very important. I'm wearing an Italian hat. I bought this in Italy this year. And so, yes, a little different. What are these things called? What are these things called,
The
Gordon?
Scully hat.
What hat?
The Scully hat.
The Scully hat?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Joe,
it's like-
those are called a Ben Hogan hat. That's what that is.
Yeah, it does. Actually, you're right, Ray. It does look like an old school golf hat, but
Like a Peaky Blinders hat.
is this the actual hat from like
Yeah,
Sicily?
Don't know, but I'll say this too. This is an interesting thing that the first thing that there's an early nutrition.
Cupola,
A what?
a cupola.
Like in Francis Ford Coppola?
I think so.
Huh?
It's a
Okay.
cupola.
Well, growing up, the first country that a big network marketing nutritional company went into back in the day, and it was a different process, was Canada. And my father was the Canadian general manager in the 70s for a company called Nature Sunshine. And to turn a country on back then with the limited technology was unbelievable. And now we got to the point where we can do this here with zeros and ones in the room. One of the last things my father did with his career before he joined in the field at Zango was he started the Korean office. He launched a Korean division for another nutritional company, in relocated to Korea for a year. There's an awful lot that goes into country launches, and we will have official country launches in the future. But this, not for resale, is a beautiful, beautiful program. It allows people like, okay, just on a small scale, somebody like myself, a Canadian living in the United States that's got I don't know, a hankering for something that, I don't know, like some Tim Hortons coffee or whatever it would be, CCM hockey jersey. You can buy them and it comes doorstep to doorstep. This is the beauty of the e-commerce world of Amazon. Like the world has changed. So when we're going live, this used to take outrageous amounts of infrastructure and bandwidth to do this. And it still takes an awful lot of details, but it's mostly handled. The heavy lifting is done by robotics, I guess, computers. So
How you looking at him?
What's nice is Prima's almost done. Need just 2 more minutes, if that, probably less.
Yep, so what we're doing right now, what Adam's doing right now is he's literally in our admin side, going in and he's going into each product and he's essentially setting a couple different configurations that say, open this up and make it available in the shop to this country, this country, this country, this country. And so he has to do with each product. So we'll show Prima will pop up here in a minute. And then the high quality culinary extra virgin olive oil options will pop up here and here a few minutes after that. So similar to last week, but it won't take as much time. We're showing you this live, right? We're taking you through the whole process. I would be shocked if any of you, or any of us for that matter, have ever experienced a company doing this so openly and transparently, right? I mentioned this for those who stayed on the call a little longer last week. I mentioned this is truly what working without a net is, right? We're so confident in the technology, in all that we've worked on, and in our just personal and collective history and experience, that we want to do this live and show you transparently how it all works. And because this is a true partnership, and so we want you to understand it, and we want to have this real connection to you and you to what we're doing and to the whole Oliabo experience. It really is an experience.
And for them to, experience it live with us as we're doing it is awesome. I mean, that's an amazing thing to have happen. Okay, so if you hit refresh in, there you go.
Boom.
Okay, now I'm gonna work on.
This is a live account. This account is a test account set up for Australia. So this means that those countries, I mean, feel free to check it out yourselves. If you're in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, the UK, Germany, Philippines, Mexico, refresh your page. Refresh your shop. Log in, go to your dashboard, go to the shop, and check it out.
wow.
Again, if you're interested in VIP, get VIP first, check out with that. But remember, contact your bank or payment provider first. This is exciting, but don't get so excited that you skip that step. Please, please, please. It'll be much easier for you and for us if you go through that step first. Over time, the banks will get used to us. They'll see, oh, Oliabo, yeah, we store orders from them all the time. They won't wonder what's going on. But initially, they don't know. This is how it goes for every new company. So please contact your payment provider first. Okay. Some payment providers are more sophisticated than others, and they might have a way through their app to notify them. They might send you a text message where you can just say, yep, that's me. So please do that first. Okay.
Almost ready on the 3-pack.
Yep, so the other ones again, so each with Adam right now is going into each product in our administrative side in the back end so that he can set the configuration to open up those countries. And so we have to do it on each product basis. And so in a minute here, when I refresh and when you refresh, you'll see the next product show up. Boom.
There was a point in my life, I used to fly out to go to Macworld every year to see what Apple would launch. And I saw a bad launch happen once, and on stage it was glitchy. And then I also happened to be there the day that Jobs launched the iPhone, And he actually said, I'm gonna do this without a net. I learned in the past what works and what doesn't work. And he made a phone call. His first phone call from stage was to Johnny Ives, the guy that designed the iPod. And I was right there. I got to watch it, and it worked. It was like amazing. It was an amazing thing. So let's hope.
Abracadabra. Boom.
Now I'm working on the single can.
Okay, so a few other things while answering that, I'm gonna answer a few questions. So, some of you are asking, hey, how can I edit my credit card or delete my credit card or manage subscriptions? So that's all being worked on right now, getting that stuff live. So, in the next, probably, early to mid next week, well, you can already see it here, actually. So if you go to my orders, subscriptions, this is where you'll be able to manage your subscriptions. Some of this is functional, some of this is not yet. I don't have any subscriptions because this is a test account. But in here is where you'll be able to manage your subscriptions. You'll be able to adjust the shipping, where it's going to be shipped to. You'll be able to adjust the payment method. You'll be able to skip the next order, all that kind of stuff here in this area. So that's all coming. You'll be able to also then in your account, you'll also be able to then make some changes to your payment methods, and all of that's coming. So we're continually improving this system, right? So both with features and with any bugs or glitches that we're noticing or that you're helping us be aware of. So please continue to send anything our way that you're seeing that looks off, or ideas that you have about how to make improvements, and we'll continue to do that. We've got a big laundry list of awesome things we want to do and of bugs or issues that we need to fix. So just know you'll continue to see improvements, but make sure you're surfacing those things to us so that we know who's having problems where and with what, so that we can continue to make those tweaks and improvements.
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Oh, I'm gonna count down.
Start the timer. Do it.
29, 28, 27.
No pressure. No pressure.
I'm not worried.
Okay,
You can't even phase this guy. Have you seen any emotion come out of him?
Adam's solid. Adam's solid.
Solid as a rock.
Yeah, so.
Gordon and I, on the other hand, half a time. So
You-
Fresh.
Usually, yeah.
Here we go. Whoa, there we go. So here you go. So in all of those initial international markets, this is ready to rock and roll. Again, contact your payment provider first. It'll be a smoother process for everybody. And then if you're interested in the VIP 365 membership, go for that first, check out with that. And then I would suggest those products that you want to initiate your subscription on, I would do that then next. And then those that you want to try out on a one-time purchase, do those next. Let's see here. So there's questions, people are asking questions about commissions. How are commissions going to work, especially for those that are in countries that are not live yet and are unable to make purchases to then hit those qualifying ranks to be able to then unlock different levels, especially those who have been sponsoring people and enrolling people that are in the US and some of these other initial countries. So we've got the first couple of weeks, we're kind of holding over everything because we can't start paying commissions until we start shipping, which we're gonna have a discussion about shipping here in a minute. But commissions, these initial week or two, we will be paying out through the Sprint commission structure. And so all of those who are now able to make these initial purchases through these initial countries that we've unlocked, you'll all be able to get in your initial orders and to qualify for those double downs on the Sprint and start to unlock those other levels for rank qualifications in the baseline monthly as well. A reminder that Sprint generally pays out on initial orders, but we're going to kind of extend that a little bit in some of these situations to cover some of these initial purchases as we get going. For those countries that we have not opened up yet, we'll look at that and we'll make sure that we're seeing what we can do on those to see where there might be some different opportunities for us to take a look at things. Ultimately, know that it's always our intention and our goal and our efforts will be around making sure that we take care of you. There may be certain one-off situations that aren't going to be able to be worked out initially, but we're always going to err on the side of doing our best to take care of you. So if you have questions specific that you think are relevant to you on that, because you might be in a country that we're not opened up yet, but you've got people that you've enrolled in countries that are, please send us a specific message, support@oliabo.com, so that we can look at your specific case. I don't think this is something that's going to affect a huge number of people initially, but we want to make sure that we've got eyes on those who it might affect. So please reach out to us if you have concerns specifically for your situation, so that we can look at that and make sure that we're doing what we can on it. Let's see. Can countries that are not on the initial list for product orders order VIP? So those that we've opened up on that initial sign up list, you'll probably see VIP in your back office. You can order that, but I would be aware that since we're not sure on your country as far as products, I would suggest holding off on that, because I wouldn't want you to order that and then we might not be able to fully open up your country to NFR or however we're able to ship to that for weeks or months. I wouldn't want that to be sitting out there like that. So I would suggest to hold off on that, please. Because again, we want to take care of you and we don't want that to be a bad experience for you, or for you to feel confused on that. Let's see here. Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about shipping, Joe and Adam, while I'm looking through some of these other questions?
Sure. So we haven't got an official word. Everything's like coming together. There's just still communications going on to make sure that the shipper can hit the button and start shipping, but products in the inventory in there with the warehouse, with the exception of the olive oil. So this is where your VIP membership comes in well, because we're going to ship two different separate shipments, okay? Because the Prima will go out first, and then the Oliabo Premium Culinary Extra Virgin Olive Oil will go out after that. We're shooting for probably right around the end of the month, which we were expecting for both of them to ship by the end of the month. This one's going to be pushing towards the end of the month, so we're working on trying to speed that up a little bit, but it'll come in two different shipments. But we're shooting for either tomorrow or early week next week, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
To start shipping.
right now, so I mean, we've got the product, it's been picked up from the manufacturer and sent over to the warehouse. So really what they're doing right now is just making sure that everything is set up correctly with our system software was direct. Moving everything over to the Landmark platform and making sure and ensuring that all of the orders are processing successfully through their system. So once they've had a chance to do their testing, really, we're going to be ready to turn things on. And so that could be in the next, day or two or three. So
We're hoping by tomorrow, but truth be known, like it might be next week. So just a little heads up, because there's just a lot of moving parts.
And that would be for Prima, right?
That would be for Prima, yes.
Yeah, because we don't have the olive oil, it's almost here, but so we'll launch shipping tomorrow or early next week for Prima, so. We're there, buddy, I mean, we're
Yes.
there.
We're there. We're getting
So,
so close.
we're getting some questions from people in Europe that are wondering if there's a way that, that since we know that we can get into these certain countries, especially the UK is kind of the initial hub of an entry point to that side of the world. If there's potentially a way that other European countries might be able to have the ability to order and somehow be able to draw from some sort of a hub there. We're looking at some ideas around that. So if you have some ideas, please send them our way. We've got some other things we're working on around that, but happy to take additional ideas and thoughts. So please send, reach out to us and send some information if you got some ideas.
just got a message from someone in the Philippines, says order placed.
Boom.
It worked.
And it worked. Everything's good.
Oh,
Wow.
They ordered 2 Primas, and that person's on this call, so you know who I'm talking about.
Well done.
Interesting. I was on a call last week with a gentleman, Kauai. We were complaining about the fact that the call was glitching out just for a second. There was like this little bit of robotic sound, and we were complaining. And I was like, how desensitized have we become that we're having a conversation in real time from an island in Hawaii all the way to our office in Murray, Utah, and we were not happy that it was not 100% perfect. Like that's the expectation we have now with today's technology. So I'm just like, when you hear in real time, we're getting data about the Philippines. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful thing.
Oh, speaking of Hawaii, did we answer about how long it will take to go to Hawaii or Alaska or Puerto Rico?
So usually in my experience on Puerto Rico or Virgin Islands or Hawaii, Alaska, you're gonna expect a little bit longer shipping times. Anything domestic that's within the continental states, those are gonna be 3 to 5 business days. But then anything that is outside of that, and so those markets we mentioned, Alaska, Hawaii, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, those you're gonna look at probably 5 to 7 business days.
It's true.
That's funny.
Can I quote that?
That's funny.
Is that this real time right now, right?
Yeah, you called that.
Okay, Malcolm, I stand corrected. It's not a faux hawk or a mohawk. You are, it is a Peaky Blinders haircut you have. That's absolutely true, brother. Also, Peaky
That's
Blinders is
So-
way more cool than just a regular old faux hawk. So I'm just putting.
Yep, so, a couple things I'll show here, and then Adam, one that we wanna talk through is how people can deal with right now until we get this functionality updated. How to either, edit a payment method, or if they got the wrong one in there, to just put a new one in there in place of that. So
Yeah.
let me talk through one other thing, but I wanted to make sure you had a heads up that I was gonna kick that to you.
Okay.
So how to choose auto ship or subscription, right? So you would select, you can either do it here and add to cart here, or from this page, you can just say, okay, I wanna add that to my cart, and I wanna add this to my cart. And then in your cart, you would select subscribe and save. That sets up an auto ship, right? So we're using the word subscription or subscribe. That's become generally more accepted and more friendly in compliance terms as well. So you would choose that there, and then you would check out with that in place. So you would then just continue through the checkout process with that. So you would then say, yep, I confirm that this is a subscription that'll have ongoing charges until I cancel, and then check out, and then that would then, when you continue on to payment and you finalize your payment, that would then set it as the auto ship or subscription.
Yeah, so if you'll, Curtis, if you'll continue on to the payment real quick for me.
Now let me get this out of the way so I can see my screen better. Oh, I'm here. Okay, well, I don't have any payments set up.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay,
So on this page, where it says loading cards right now, underneath, yep, right there.
it's not gonna load any because I don't have any in right now.
And this is a test account that's not gonna have any cards on it. But if you've placed an order, you've put a card into the system, there's going to be a little card image that pops up, and it'll show the last 4 digits on that actual card. But there's gonna be 2 options. You can either go in and edit, or you can delete the card. And so if there's also an option to add a card. So like Curtis is
Some of
doing
that's not
here.
totally working right if it's got an auto ship on, so make sure.
Correct, I was gonna touch on that as
Okay,
well.
sorry.
So there's also an add a card option. So if you only have one card that's displayed, it's not gonna let you delete that if it's linked to your subscription. And so you'll wanna go in and add a card, and like Curtis has here on the screen now. And then that's gonna automatically tie to the order that you're on. And if you're setting up a subscription in the order, it's gonna also tie it to that order. So what we're working on right now is the ability to go in and delete the original cards. That feature, we're pretty confident is gonna be made very soon. So for now, if you do need to change your card, just make sure you go in here to do that.
Well, so I know that some of you are having this kind of an issue right now, wherein you're needing that edit card functionality. Either the card was entered incorrectly maybe, or something else. So please try what Adam just said and let us know if you're still having problems. Know that we're improving this right now. This is like one of the top things on our list, is simplifying this process to edit or adjust your payment methods. But I want to make sure that what Adam just explained, please go through that process. Let us know if that's not working, or if you need more clarity on that.
If you haven't noticed, folks, and one of the things from our kind of corporate culture personality perspective, I kind of divide the world when you're running a direct sales company into dynamics and mechanics. And the dynamics are some of the stuff. Tuesdays, the way that it's shaking down is Tuesdays are usually our dynamics, and Thursdays are more of our mechanics. We build it that way on purpose. I think it's a great thing. You want, Ray was talking about how, I said, I pointed to here and here, Ray, I'll quote you to you today. Quote, me to you to me. Okay, so I did this and this on the video, and that's a business is here and here, and it's dynamics and mechanics, it's belief and it's passion, it's pragmatism and idealism. So the way that I see this company going forward is things that are happening Tuesdays are you're going to get a lot of the dynamics. We will push mechanics to Thursdays, at least in the general time frame. 1 week from today, however, it is Thanksgiving. And so 1 week today will be Thursday in the United States. And by the way, folks, it's November and God is going to do great things this month for so many of us. And we have to take pause and moments and give thanks to each other and whatnot about the fact that we have done this. We have pulled this idea out of the ether in the last 6 to 8 months. We built this whole thing together. When you get a moment, pat yourselves on the back, take a second. And I know Donna, I know like you could be like, dang it, I wanted it to be at my doorstep today. And we're actually ahead of the original game plan. I'm not picking on you, Donna. I'm just saying, like, I used you as an example. I don't know, you're prima donna. So I did see your text, prima donna email. I think is a fantastic thing. When I'm looking at my screen like this, I try to never do that. My wife knows if I go on a date with my wife and my mind is somewhere else, she knows. And I don't think she knows. Oh, she knows. She's like, you're looking at your phone. I'm like, I just wanted to see that. She's like, you're talking to Ray. I'm like, I am. I'm talking to Ray. She'll know if I'm outside the moment. Right now, we're all looking at our screens to make sure that this thing comes together at the same time. By the way, we've been part of things where mechanics and take a center stage when it should be dynamics. We're not going to do that here. Man, I've been part of companies where this meeting is run by like a Revenge of the Nerds looking calculator salesman type thing, and it's really no fun. So we're going to try to make it better. Neither one of these two talented gentlemen fit that description.
I'll take it.
1960s algebra teacher or whatever. You've seen those, right? Sucking the life out of a room. We'll try to never do that to you. The mechanics are extremely important though, so we're getting this right. It is 1 week, Thursday, right? It's 1 week next week. So we should probably, while we have a second, address that there will be times where we'll be out of pocket 1 week for today as an office. We generally speaking, we celebrate most international holidays for those markets, but this is a big one next week for those who don't live in the United States. Thanksgiving is,
So we're lucky, Gordon and I, because we hail from Canada, and so
we get to eat turkey twice.
we get two Thanksgivings, because Thanksgiving in Canada is the beginning of October, and in November at the end of November, and so we are very grateful for you all.
So 1 week from today, though, there will be infrastructure. If we do have robots and things that run things, but there are human beings behind all of that. Like all we do is leverage technology. So if we're out of pocket 1 week today for a while, it's because we're taking the chance to give thanks and whatnot. By the way, Italians don't do Thanksgiving like we do it. Our Thanksgivings were always like a little bit of Italian culture, right? Italians are funny about like, turkey's dry. We don't do turkey, right? We're like, we do whatever. And I'm like, okay, we figured it out. They're a little particular about it. But yeah, as we go into this holiday season, our whole goal was right from the get-go, we pricked our fingers and made a blood oath that we would be live by Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and have the chance to issue a proper gratitude to the folks who have been passionate about this little adventure we're on. And it's an adventure, guys. Everybody on the line, Malcolm on an island in the middle of the Pacific there, and folks in Europe. I found out, I was today years old when I found out there's people in Norway in our database somehow. I didn't even know how they found out. Is beyond me, but
Through the network, right?
Yeah.
it's a network.
Through people.
The beauty of
Yes.
such markets, well, in this community. Yeah.
Yesterday, Ray we talked to a world-class opera tenor. In the same 24-hour period, we talked to maybe one of the most infamous authors and educators in the health and nutrition field that we grew up with a name. It was a little surreal. Like this thing is, thank you for whoever sent this beautifully crafted little, what would you call it? It was like a little motivational poster that had like a family of rabbits, and then it said, we're gonna grow like a rabbit farm on a hormone diet, and then it said dash dash Gordon. And I was like, I didn't originally say that. I don't even know who said it, but I guarantee it.
We're giving him credit.
I guarantee you, whoever originally said it that I heard it from sounded more like Ray than it sounded like a Canadian, right? So I think it was in the South. You got to appreciate the South.
But you know, to that point, if I could just
Sure.
bring up something, Gordon and I and Kemp were talking this morning, and I was telling them I went for my run this morning early, and right now it's perfect time of year. This is my favorite time of year. I don't know whenever y'all like to run and hike and walk, but I love autumn. It's probably my favorite time, and there's just beautiful leaves. It was crisp and cool, and it's a little bit too cold to just walk, go running in a t-shirt, but too cold, yeah, and too not warm enough that I can slip off, so I'm in my hoodie, and I was listening to my music, and I heard I was a child of the 80s, I love the 80s. This is like everything. By the way, I'm convinced it's the best decade of music, in my opinion. And if you want to look it up, 1984, phenomenal year. But okay, so there's a song by Icicle Works called Whisper to a Scream.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this morning when you
I
said that.
know, we started talking about this and Gord caught the same thing, and I was listening to Icicle Works Whisper to a Scream. And many people don't know this about this song. It's actually a song, it's like a prayer to God. And many may not know that it's like a one-hit wonder, I think, right, Gord? I don't know if they ever had any other hits. But Icicle Works.
Cup or something. It's like one of those like the band had artistic differences.
But it's still being played consistently, and it's a beautiful song, but it's called Whisper to a Scream. And when Gord was talking about like, how did someone find out about it over here and here and here? That's what's happening. I believe it's like it's a whisper going on right now, but it's building up. It's building up to the point where it's going to be a scream. And it's quite exciting to see this, because those who have, and Ray, Ray, and anyone who's been here, Malcolm, I'm telling you, those who've been to where the air is thin in this industry, we know where this is going. And Ray says it every week on the call. I know where this is going. I know what the end game is. And Tommy said it on the call actually a couple of weeks ago too. I know what the end game is. And that end game is when it's screaming. and it's gonna scream and scream. So it's a whisper going on. There's a little bit of a whisper. I ended up listening to that song the entire run, guys. It was like fun, because I was just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like that's what's going on. And there are prayers. Those whispers are like prayers going on right now. All over the world, prayers of hope, prayers of excitement, prayers of a better future, prayers of better health and wellness, prayers of a business opportunity that's coming. And what happens when that happens, when we come together and it starts to scream, and it's real close to that tipping point, as Malcolm Gladwell talks about in the book, Tipping Point. When that tipping point hits, and to use the hockey stick analogy, because we're from Canada, grew up with skates, we were born with skates, the hockey stick curve, that's going to hit. And when that happens, that's when it turns from a whisper to a scream. And I'm really excited for that. We know it's coming. It's brewing right now, everyone. And you know what I'm talking about. You could feel it. You could feel it. And it was fun to see distributors around our office yesterday doing live Zooms from our office, which was pretty cool. And
somebody from Dufferin County in our office, Michelle from Dufferin County. There's, by the way, I was explaining this to Ray yesterday. I was like, you have to understand, Ray, Shelburne is a very small town, but there's always a smaller town, right? Near it, because there are people like, you come from a small town. You think we're small? You should look at Grand Valley. That's really small. And there was a lady here. Michelle was here from Grand Valley.
Michelle was here. Shout out to Michelle. She might be on a plane right now. Come back, but it was nice to have her in the office, and then the others were there as well, just doing a live Zoom. It was so fun. The energy, that whisper is going to turn into a scream, and it's coming.
That song's 1984, Joe. I just Googled it. 1984. Supporting your theory that 1984 was like a very, very big year for
There
music.
was something going on in the water that year, because that is the great. I could just go on. Michael Jackson's Thriller came out.
Oh,
You
no.
got Van Halen came out with stuff.
1984.
Def Leppard, you got Madonna hitting at that point. Oh man, because and Ice Works, throwing that in.
There you go.
The Smiths came out with albums and that. It's like so many. Howard Jones was hitting it. Wham, of course.
George Michael.
We're going into the holiday season right now, and last Christmas, that's when it came out, 1984.
There you go.
Look it up. I'm not wrong.
It's an interesting thing. Joe brought this song up, and I was listening to it. I actually talked to Curtis about it like about 6 months ago, and Curtis was like, "Oh yeah, you're crazy." So he just went off and did his thing. It's usually what happens, right? He's like, "You got too much caffeine, bye bye." So, but it is a song. It was like it talks about your journey in life, taking your whisper, learning your space, and finding your space, and amplifying your energy later on in life. And I think that by the way, that happens in some companies. It takes a long time for something to go from a whisper to a scream, if you're lucky enough to get to that point. We're already at the point where it's a good deep bellow, right? There's a guttural, they call it a cinematic swell. Every time you watch a trailer for a movie, where you hear that like, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a big spaceship or something coming in here, right? That is what we have going on right here. And if you want to find an exercise, Icicle Works, Whisper to a Scream. It's got
Birds Fly. I think
Birds Fly is what
I
it's
think
called.
the song's officially, it's called Birds Fly, Whisper to a Scream.
Yeah. And it's got like a Bo Diddley beat at the beginning, and it's it's a cool song. So
Great song to run to, by the way, if anyone's runners out there. It's a great song. Put that on. It's got a beat that'll just keep you, it'll pump you up. It helped me get through my run this morning. It was awesome. It was gorgeous. And
Joe has got such an unusual amount of energy for running and things like that. Honestly, like people are like, do you have the energy to start one of these things? I was like, man, most days I have the energy of a great white shark. And Joe is like, there are times where I was like, dude, man up, you're freaking Iron Man. Get over there. I don't know that we'll be able to get this. I'm like, dude, you're an Iron Man. I'm never gonna run an Iron Man. So yeah. We have to keep up with people. Like, if you guys didn't notice, like we had Malcolm on last week, and I'm like, dang, like you have to be on your toes. That dude, he has energy. Sometimes you're watching him like on the Zoom, and I was like expecting sparks to come out of his mouth, right? And it's so we're there, brothers and sisters. We got this. We're ready to hit this thing with the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns. This little exercise that we're going through right here, freeze this moment, and 1 year from now, we'll thaw it out and go, man, do you remember when we were sweating? Like I'm sweating to make sure that we're going live in the moment. And I want people to see the face of what a CEO. There's probably a wrinkle that formed in the last week of my life, just from the furrowed brow of watching this thing. And we worry so that you don't have to. But in the same way, I know that each one of you as leaders worry so that the people you're bringing to the organization worry less. And my goal, by the way, I shared this with Ray only 3 days ago. I was like, brother, you've done some amazing things in your life, and I have extreme gratitude for the fact that you see the energy in this thing. But I was like, I want this thing to be the biggest thing you've ever done. And that's a goal that is so big, it a little bit scares the blazes out of a lot of people, and we want that.
I want this to be the biggest thing we've all ever done.
Yeah, like
You,
Malcolm, you've done some big
all of
things.
us.
Don, you've done some big things.
Together it can be.
And to that point, has anyone ever heard of that BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal? It's good to have that. Put it out there. What's your big, hairy, audacious goal? Only you can answer that. That's gonna be an individual thing for everyone, but what is it?
Yep.
You know,
Also,
I hope you're thinking about that. I hope you're writing it down. I hope you're contemplating it.
speaking of goals, there was a guy who once taught me, a very wise man, as I was filming his series Positive In. And he taught me that as you're setting goals, don't just set one goal. Set your long-term goal, your medium-term goal, and your short-term goals. Because that allows you to celebrate the successes of those goals as you're on your way to that long-term goal. So make sure you're setting up multiple goals, not just one.
And you know what, like, one of my favorite things is seeing and hearing about people attaining their goals, those short-term goals, those medium-term goals, those long-term goals. So tell us about those things. Send us your goals. Send us updates on when you meet those goals. Like we will celebrate you internally. We'll be high-fiving when we get those emails or those messages or those calls, because we're here together to make this successful for you, for us, for all of us. And so we want to hear about those things.
And when your team hits goals, they start to hit different ranks, man, celebrate. Those are those short-term goals that are working up to the medium term, which works up to the long-term goal. And when you hit that long-term goal, then we create new goals.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And in some cases, those are gonna go fast.
Oh,
This
fast.
whisper is going to a scream in quick order. When those
Absolutely.
products start to hit and people start feeling better and they're feeling better, they got more energy, they're sleeping better, so many different ways, boy, it's gonna get fun.
Yep.
There's many people on this call that are parents that raise kids, and I get the benefit of having people to bounce stuff off. I still have two kids at home, my 18-year-old son. There's a truck issue in my house today, so we're dealing with it, right? Well, so what I was gonna say about that is each one of them, when they learn to swim, I realized that there were moments that you know, learning to swim is a pretty big deal. You put a lot of trust in the machine. I was smart enough at the time to know to put my BlackBerry down and go in the pool and just be the cheerleader and say, hey, you can do this. You can do this, right? Come on, jump in the pool. We got you. I got you. You're going to be fine. And all of them ended up being amazing swimmers. And my wife came from a family of aquaphobes. They weren't into swimming. And she's like, honey, you have to make sure our kids don't become aquaphobic. Is that a word? I think so.
I think so.
So, this is the time where you say, hey, folks that have been in this industry before, like Ray does an amazing job that way saying, if you could see the world through my eyes, this is what the future is gonna be. And the folks that are coming to the organization new, they've never been exposed to something like this. Maybe it's their first home-based business, or maybe it's the first time that they've ever delved into the world of high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. You just, hey, you know enough to put your iPhone down and say, hey, I got you. We got this thing. We got this thing. We will. It's going to be imperfect. I was talking to somebody who was, Mimo, you know what I'm talking about here, and it was last week, and we were talking, and I said, and we're talking about having learned from mistakes in the past, and I was like, brother, I'm gonna make plenty. I can tell you right now. You know why? Because every company makes mistakes. Apple Computer makes lots of mistakes. I've been an early adopter. We're gonna make some, but we'll make less of the really awful ones that have been historically plagued our industry. I'm gonna tell you this. There's been a lull in the industry for the last 10 years, and we've all many of us have felt it. And I had the discussion this morning with somebody non-related to this, and they said, oh yeah, that's going to change. It's about to change. It's already changing, you know. We're in one calendar year in 2025. I want this to leave a dent so big that we will feel it positively for the rest of the next 10 years, you know. So anyway, for whatever that's worth.
I love it, Gord. Hey, so speaking of just anything that you need, please let us know as we start rolling out shipping, as we start updating some of these things in the back office related to showing tracking info or other things. There's going to be some information that's going to be maybe
Generated.
right, maybe wrong. Let us know if you're seeing things that are confusing about tracking information or other things that way. Those of you that are still have some questions that we might not have answered, or that you have other things you ran into, reach out, let us know so that we can take care of you. You can always know that we will do everything we can to take care of you and to make things right. Ray.
Hey, brother, I love you guys. You're just amazing. I didn't get any notice that I was going to speak on this call today, but I'm glad you invited me to. I got a couple of things I'd like to share with people. I had to scramble, get out of my old, grubby t-shirt. My hair wasn't quite right, and you can tell I didn't get it quite right. So I'm just telling you. By the way, I'm looking, Gordon, at, my portrait picture that's in there when I'm not on camera. And I was hoping Kent was still around, but it looks like he's missing. Uh, that was taken in Savannah, Georgia, about 10 years ago. Kent and I were doing a meeting in Savannah, Georgia for the billion-dollar company you guys built called Zango. So
Wow.
I need to update my profile picture. I get it. That's 10 years old, so I'll try to put another one up. Hey, you're talking about
On the spot
songs.
last night, so
Pardon?
I figured you put me on the spot last night, so I was going to give you the chance. No, we love you, Ray, and everybody loves you on this call. So I figure you can take us out.
I love you guys too. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm gonna give a shout out to that little gift that you described with the rabbit farm, Gordon. That was Simone Turner from Canada. that sent you that. So I want to give her credit for that. It was really cute. I think we ought to just kind of post that thing often. Go back and review it. It's going to come true. It's going to come true.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Yeah, a couple of things. I'm going to take this is shameful. I'm going to announce this publicly. Malcolm, call me, please, right after we finish this Zoom. Amazing. On the other side of the world, and I could just say, give me a call, Malcolm, and he will. So proud of you. So proud of all of you, folks. These foreign countries, a lot of them that you see, these are because of your efforts on this Zoom here tonight or today, this afternoon. These are seeds you planted early. I'm reminded of a guy these boys from Canada would certainly know, named Wayne Gretzky, right? He goes, "I don't go where the puck is. I go finish that."
Yeah, you get people like he's like, I don't go where the puck is, I go where the puck is going, right? Like
You
that
got
was,
it.
yeah, it was actually and interestingly, his dad said, Wayne gets credit for that, but his dad, Walter Gretzky, is the one that used to teach that to him. Don't go where the puck is, go where the puck is going. Yeah.
Well, and, I got to tell you, boy, Gordon's right. About the last decade, it's not been a cool market for me. For me, it was a very cold market. You know my story. If you're new and you don't, I was about to give up. 32 years of the 40 years I've been in this industry, just knocking it out of the park, having a time of my life, enjoying my own story. Poor boy from Oklahoma with nothing 40 years ago. Met Mr. Jim Rohn, taught me 90 days. Find the right company, right time, 90 days, build your business as if your life depended on it. I think Sprint fixed that or addresses that very nicely in this comp plan. We got Sprint pay, so let's sprint. Let's give it our 90-day all out war. It's what happened to me in 3 months' time, 40 years ago, never having any experience in the industry. I was earning more money after 90 days of putting into practice what he said, build my business like my life was hanging in the balance. You know my story. It was hanging in the balance. 3 kids, another one on the way, no money, behind in all bills. 3 months' time, I was earning more money than all my friends that had high paying jobs. Pretty incredible. So I never looked back. So 32 years doing really well. Last 10 years, nothing. Decided to give up, retire, go work on a golf game that I was never going to improve. And so it wasn't very fulfilling. And I get the call from my good friend Gordon Morton, who had me at hello when he said, "Ray, I never thought I would do this, but I'm going to do it again one more time." And so it's been a ride of my life here in the last, that call probably took place in March. So it's been some months. This day has been a while coming, but it's here. Here's my challenge to you today, all of you. We all make promises to ourselves, and I know you've made promises to yourself. It's time for you to deliver on the promises that you made to yourself. We may not say this out loud, but we think it. We think if we ever really could find the right opportunity at the right time, then we could do something. I can't begin to tell you just how fortunate you are. If this is your first venture in network marketing, you absolutely won the lottery. You're with the best group of guys and gals that you could be with. This thing is going to be unbelievable. And you won't even have to tell the stories about some of the things Gordon and I could tell about this industry over the years, and Joe, and certainly Adam and Kent. This is the place to be. You talk about songs. I heard you guys talking about songs. Here's my song today, especially. Start Me Up. I'm going to out Gordon. I told him recently that's probably one of my all-time favorite songs by the Rolling Stones. Start Me Up. He's playing a guitar. He's a pretty good guitar player. He's got a lot of nice guitars, and he said, "Well, this guitar is not tuned for that." So next thing I know, I get a little clip. If you bribe me, I might send it to you. No, I won't do that. he he tuned up the guitar and played "Start Me Up." Well, today's our start me up. And all the people in these foreign markets, we've done a lot of Zooms together. I appreciate you all. I mean, I really do. It's this 90 days. I mean, take this so serious as a heart attack. Give it everything you got for 90 days. I promise you, as Jim Rohn would say, you'll set the sail. You'll set the sail for success. If you give it an all out 90-day war. I'll give you just a little recipe. It's a small one. I'm not guaranteeing incomes of any kind. We can't do that. The company certainly doesn't do that, and I personally don't. guarantee that. But it's a little recipe, something we did back in the early days of the other company. We're a brand new company. Be assured of that. I heard somebody say it's a rebirth of our ex company. No, it's not. It's not a rebirth. This is brand new. Oliabo is brand new. It's better than. You have heard that? New and improved. That's what it is. And we got wonderful products that are going to address some major issues, challenges that people have in their life. So if you'll hit the ground running just the way I describe it to you, I promise you, you're going to win. You're going to win big. It's 3 and Me. What a great, it's a great compensation plan. 3 and Me. I talked about some crazy numbers the other night, and some of you probably were scratching your head going, I'm not going to have 2 million people in my business. Well, there's a good chance you probably won't. And you might not have, 1 million people in your business. Some of you will. I know you. You're probably not going to have 500,000. You're probably not going to have 10,000. I'll just say that up front. I want to show you what could happen to you. 3 and Me works like this. Everybody doing the same thing. Back in the old company, we got started. We didn't want to leave any money on the table. And we had a similar double fast start. And you qualified for that by doing 200 CV, call it CV, 200 CV points. Well, you get 200 CV points if you order 2 Primas. I mean, you probably got a significant other. You want them to be as healthy as you. So shame on you if you don't get two. So just get started in the right way with your three. You and your three, you get on a, this is my suggestion. You do whatever you're comfortable doing, I'm okay with. But I'm just telling you, if you want the best shot at success, here it is. You get on auto ship for our subscription. I gotta lose that term auto ship. I like subscription better. It's more appropriate. Get on subscription for 2 Primas. Do it today. Hey, might as well. No better time to get started than today. Get on 2 Primas. Teach your three to do the same thing, and that's the duplication model. We all get three. Everybody gets on two, and it will grow like that rabbit farm that Gordon has talked about. And network marketing works just this way, folks. If everybody knows what their job is, well, what is my job? Okay, my job is to get 3 people who are as interested in building this business as I am. And believe me, they're out there. And we're all going to do the very same thing. That's our duplicating model. Nobody has to guess what's their title. What do they do in this network that we're in? We all get a minimum of 3. You're certainly welcome to get more than that. Many of you have, but just work hard with 3. Get them all duplicating on 2 Primas, and you multiply over time. You don't happen overnight. Some of you it could in a week or two. You're that good at what you do. But when 3 duplicates, you have 9, then you have 27. Everybody getting 3, everybody doing 2, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. And I'll just take it to the 6th level. We get paid through 8 and some bonuses. That's 729. You add those people up, it's more than 1,000 folks. Okay. And if 1,000 folks are doing $200 or 200 CV, that's 200,000 in volume in your team, in this particular team that I'm describing. 200,000 in volume. I'm just going to round out the numbers. I might miss it by a penny or two, dollar or two. I won't miss it much. That's about $10,000 a month in income for you. Extra 120,000 a year. My question would be, could that change your life? Here's what I know. It will. Most everybody I've ever known in my life. An extra 120,000 a year would do it. But here's what I also know about those that are extra motivated in life. Probably won't stop there. You'll continue on, and no telling what you're capable of doing. Here's what I've learned from my own life. I mean, where I came from, uneducated, poor, didn't know anything. I know that human beings are capable of the most incredible things, most incredible things. If you stand guard at the door of your mind and you don't let people steal your dream and your why, you plug it into something like Oliabo, you can't help but hit the longest ball of your career. I'm telling you, if you take me seriously and just borrow my vision for what's going to take place here, any financial worries you got, they're going to be behind you. I don't know. Do you want them to be behind you in 6 months? You want them to be behind you in a year, 5 years? It's all available and attainable here at Oliabo. This is by far, the premier opportunity that I've ever seen in my 40-year career. It just don't get any better than this. The business acumen that you're looking at on this screen, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I mean, I knew Gordon had a 6 speed, but I mean, he's got twin turbos and an overdrive. I mean, he's got a brilliant marketing mind, a branding expert. We're a beautiful company. Just don't get caught doing less than you're capable of doing with this opportunity today. It's the time to hit it really hard. And just take my challenge, 90 days, just like your life depended on it. One other thing I want to say before I exit this call. I can get a little grumpy at times. It's 1 o'clock in the morning almost last night. I get a text and a distributor, nice gal. I'm not going to call you out, okay? And she's just baffled that as a master distributor, I didn't know the answer to that question. I got news for you, honey. There's probably lots of things that, as a master distributor here, that I don't know. I will find them out. I can assure you. But here's what I'll say to you for sure, so that you just know that it's coming right from here, as Gordon says, and from here. You get me on the phone with people that are interested in changing their life with a business opportunity. I'm about the best shot you're going to get in network marketing. I don't mean to sound arrogant. I love what I do. I love this space. I love people, and I promise you, we're going to build a monster together, and I want you to be part of it. Hey, that's about it, guys. I appreciate you all so very much. I mean, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a red letter day again. We keep having a lot of those. That's what you did. Those of you on this Zoom, you went where the puck was going, not where it is. And so, as a result of the early seeds that you planted, some of those markets are opening. And over time, I mean, I know these guys very aggressive. They're the best there is in the network marketing industry. I can assure you. You won't know that yet if you're new. Over time, you'll know. You'll know what I know, what many of us on this Zoom know. They are the best in the network marketing industry. And
You're the best, Ray. You're the
Thanks,
best. I feel like giving you applause, brother. Um, folks, I was fortunate to be able to hear these downloads. Ray and I talked. I was like, when you say I got text at 1 a.m., I'm like, did I text him? I'm like, no, it wasn't me. I got a question. I got two of them, not one, but two yesterday. Questions that I had to get an answer for. There's an awful lot of questions, but here's the thing too. Be gentle on your uplines, folks. You've got a great support network. There's some talented leaders on the phone, and no matter what Malcolm's haircut looks like, he is not a garbage can with a hairy lid. So don't like blow up his phone if something doesn't go right in the moment. I'm going to out Ray on one thing, Ray. Every once in a while, you have to really work hard at it. But Ray will fire people. It's the weirdest thing. People are like, you can't fire me. This is a volunteer army. I got a home-based business. He's like, you're absolutely right. But I can choose not to answer your phone call because I have caller ID. And so, you guys, it takes a lot to get Ray to that point. But and I haven't seen him come anywhere close. But I have seen it happen. Folks, anyway. Nothing but love and respect from all of us. And Joe, you want to finish off?
One comment that I wanted to make, we're still working on the shipping part. I did notice that it's actually kind of cool. It's loading when a person places an order. Adam was just showing that the tracking number is going to show up. You're going to see that in the back office. It just hasn't shipped yet, but that's a good sign though. That means it's kind of working its way through the system. Again, we're just being transparent with you. We're trying to help you understand what the process, and you get to watch, right? We're just live doing this. This is kind of fun. I don't think this has ever happened, right? I don't think it's ever happened in network marketing history where we just like, this is happening. Curtis is pushing buttons and pulling levers over here and out. And we got Ben on the other side of the wall going, so it's all coming together here, right as we speak. And so this is kind of fun. But I also wanted to kind of build upon it a little bit as a last comment from what Ray said. If we all work the next 90 days, just push it. And I know that there's some things that products got to ship out, we got to start getting checks. So when does, but we start now. And that 90 days, there's going to be a lot of whispering going on. A lot of whispering. Talking, the product's going to hit. People are going to start experiencing differences. Just like me, I'm actually feeling different with my that my own health and
Yep.
wellness journey with the products that I'm taking only for this short period of time, that's complete, you know, including the extra virgin olive oil. I want you to know, I'm taking that, and I tested, I told this Ray actually, I tested it where I didn't take the extra virgin olive oil before bed. I haven't taken it right before bed, and I take it for when I wake up in the morning. And the 2 nights that I'm doing my own little market research, my own little research on myself. And the 2 times this week, I didn't sleep as well. I have one of these fancy schwancy Oura rings. Many of you probably wear them, and so it tells me it tracks my sleep scores. And when I don't do it, I don't sleep as well. So I don't know, there's something there. I'm just trying to tell you. But let's get that whisper going the next 90 days. That Ray's talking about. Whisper. Let those whispers just build up, and then boom, it's gonna start screaming. Those whispers gonna turn to scream, and it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna hit 2026 with white hot intensity of 1,000 suns, folks.
We will.
Biggest January this industry's seen in a long time,
It's
so.
gonna be great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for helping us kick off our initial efforts in the international markets. As always, message us. Let us know what you need. Let us know if there's any issues. We're here for you, and we're gonna work harder than anyone ever to help you be successful, to take care of your customers, to take care of you as a customer. One team, one dream. We're all together on this. Let's go.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.